hello, Tom. Hello, Representative Jayapal. My question relates to the upcoming presidential election, and relates to the war, to the ongoing war, because we're coming out upon a year of this. And I have a lot of Lebanese friends, and they're pretty much freaking out right now, and we're pretty much seeing like we can't. It's becoming impossible to say how to support Kamala Harris when her stated positions hasn't shifted. Especially when it comes, like, I'm worried about Michigan, because the margins are so slim there, based on the latest polling, and if people don't show up, like I get the feeling that from speaking to other people in the Democratic community and hearing from the way the leadership speaks, it's like they're taking the votes for granted, or they're calculating that they're going to get enough votes from the other side, from a different area.
So I got it. Thank you.
So what?
Representative?
Well, look, I think that this is, a really, really tough issue. As you know, I've come out very strongly for a ceasefire, for believing it's also the only way that we will ever get all the hostages back or secure any kind of a long-term peace for Israel and Palestine. And I think that it was a big opening when the vice president became our nominee, because she has been more empathetic. However, it is also a challenging situation because she's not the president. She's the vice president. She can't make a big break from President Biden. And President Biden, and I've had individual conversations with the president and with the vice president on this issue, always our fear has been that this war is going to escalate. Barbara Lee and I just put out a statement when we heard about the initial things that were happening in Lebanon, and called for de-escalation, called for us to do everything we can and use all the leverage we have, including our relationships, our military funding, all of those things, to try and de-escalate and bring us to that ceasefire that the president mentioned, but that Israel has rejected. And so I think this is a very difficult situation in terms of the election, because you're right. I've been very close to the uncommitted leaders. I've been talking to them regularly. I think they're doing everything they can to try and navigate what is a difficult situation. I would just say that I think that we have to think about this as, unfortunately, as a longer-term organizing project. Both in terms of the Middle East and regional tensions there, and establishing a true Palestinian and Israeli state side by side. But I also think it's about how the United States sees war and sees military interventions and sees diplomacy. And again, we need a better and stronger and more articulated progressive foreign policy vision. I'm working on that now, because I feel like we are increasingly moving towards war and military intervention as our first line, and it shouldn't be.
And hopefully this doesn't end up the way Hubert Humphrey did. I hear some echoes.
Yeah.
It's a big concern. We'll be right back. It's 20 minutes past the hour. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Stay with us.